have to remember which world is the one I was playing with. I think it was this one? Titotheton? I think we were Titotheton. No, we can be Titotheton. Titotheton. Thank you, Jello. Okay, it's going to start. Sound sense is going to start up, so I have to do this. And I can adjust the volume here. Okay, yeah, so we had last time we had dug a well, and I think I've got it so that the well will not have interlopers. And I did it by carving out this. I carved out so there would be... Yeah, we got depth working again. High press arc. So here's our well, down here at the bottom. I had carved out these squares and then walled off the top of, or floored off the top of that staircase. And hopefully that will prevent any creepy crawlies from invading our fortress from our well. Because we're all the way down here. I just look at here. Here's the front of our fortress with our stalwart guard puppies and our big pile of corpses. Like a yak skeleton and a dead guard dwarf and a dead were-human. I think it was a were-Gila monster that got us. And we are out here mining for iron. Yeah, we have a lot of hematite. We should probably dig some more of that out. Got a wood going. Yeah, there we go. We got our magma forges working. Oh, we don't have trained war dogs yet. These are literally puppies, I think. Yeah. The purpose of these puppies is if any thieves want to, either goblin snatchers or kobold thieves want to sneak into our fortress, they'll have to go adjacent to one of these dogs, which will alert us. Yeah, there's the entrance. There's our trader entrance, which comes down here. We've got some cages here. Do I have a animal stockpile? I do not. Well, I could always use some more stockpile space. I don't know what my mining dwarves are doing currently, but they can probably... I hate show priority, and it's just always going to happen now. Excellent. There's lots of cowlinite. I must have set this to accept economic stones. Well, I do not want cowlinite in here. Cowlinite is a useful stone, but not one we especially need. I mostly want this to have, not rock salt, marble. I want this to have marble, lignite, hematite in it. I don't know if we had magnetite. I think we do. Yeah, and all of this is good. Yeah, we have hematite right here even. Which means I probably want to dig over here instead, because there will be free magnetite from the government. Another thing I want to work on is Ithilgivolt. I think we are needing to... Yeah, okay. This is going to be our inside pasture once it starts getting a bit more Go ahead and grow quarry bushes in here. Okay. This will be our inside. We'll move our animals inside once this grows a bit more moss on it. Think what I want to do now is first we're going to build a garbage disposal area. And we're going to do it like this. We're going to build a bridge out here. And we're going to build it out of rock salt blocks. And then we're going to build a lever, I think over here. Just out of the way. We'll build it here. And we're going to connect this bridge to this lever. And I think the next thing I want to do is work on a temporary barracks. And I think our temporary barracks can be here. So we're going to, not door, I want a mine. So we are going to build some temporary barracks out here. Actually, we can put them... Yeah, we'll put the downstairs here. That'll be a little more secure. Because after we use these... After we stop having these be our barracks... It'll be still useful storage area. And I put it here so that I can build a drawbridge here or here if I want to. And this guy's got a turtle. Okay, let's send him to work. Because it's about time for us to start working on the beginnings of a military. And the reasons we want the beginnings of a military is so that we can... We're about to have iron, and because we're about to have iron, we're also about to have steel. And it takes a bit for your steel production to actually start up. How much iron do we currently have? Many. We currently have many iron. Okay. Let's go down to our workshops. Let's switch to Dwarf Therapist for a moment, which I have not connected to the game yet. I seem to recall that we have... Yeah, we have a legendary armorer and a legendary weaponsmith. Or no, a master weaponsmith and a legendary armorer. Which means that we can start producing some weapon and armor right away. And I think the first thing we want to do is just get some iron weapons and armor made. My original plan was to try to cheat out some... Yeah, I got lucky as hell. I had 2 immigrants that were just really good. Yeah, those were migrants. Speaking of, there's one thing I want to check with our migrants. I want to go to military. Whoa! Okay. I thought this person was going to be a vampire, which they still might be a vampire. They don't have any of the... Okay, so this is a competent crossbowman. I don't think this is a vampire. Yeah, this is a big chart. This is the military screen. Nil Oltarshed. Apparently was in some kind of troll war. Okay, when you want to find out if you have any vampires in your fortress, the best thing to do is to look how many kills all of your dwarves have. And usually, having this many kills... thank you for the pun, Terrifying. would signify to me that they were a vampire, but they usually also have really good skills. And this person is just a fisher dwarf. 102 trolls. Okay, we have to check on this. We're going to look for a nil altar shed. Sometimes vampires go by aliases, and you kind of cheat because dwarf therapist sees through their. No, we just. "102 trolls, male, in the forests of Assault." So we just have a dwarf who's killed 100 trolls. Usually vampires are really old, Prezarch, and they have a lot of kills, and they've had a long time to develop a military skills. So usually a vampire dwarf will have high social skills, a lot of kills, and usually pretty good skills and a high military skill. This woman was just in a sniper's nest, shooting troll after troll, it appears. Or she could be a werewolf. Or a vampire, not a werewolf. If she was a werebeast, we would know, because she would become a werebeast and have killed a lot of people. Well, she likes billion and gold. She has an amazing memory, a great affinity for language, very good sense of empathy. Questionable spatial sense. Okay. I usually don't like putting women in my military because they tend to bring their babies with them into battle, which can make them very sad if they get their baby killed. But a Mark's dwarf can be kept out of the actual battle. So maybe if she has a baby, she can carry her baby out to kill many, many, many more dwarves. Or no, not dwarves. Trolls. Hopefully. Probably goblins. Anyways, I wanted to check for... Yeah, if we end up getting some drained of blood people, we might suspect that Nil is in fact a vampire. But, anyways, okay. So we have some magma forges set up. We have a lot of iron. And we want to set up a military. So we're going to go into our work order screens. Looks like we've already been making some steel bars. Let's go ahead and make some weapons and armor, probably starting with our armor. And we're going to make 14 of these. And after we get our steel... hello, Rowan Wordsmith. After we get our steel industry set up, we can switch to steel. But we can start off with iron. No, it's male shirt, that's right. Yeah. When you make gauntlets, you make them in pairs, so you don't have to order 28, you just order 14. I used to think you had to order 28, or double the amount you wanted for a long time. And, it's not that good. We want high boots. I want high boots. Why can't I make high boots? That's really weird. Why can't I make high boots? Let's try ordering them from the place specifically. Does our civilization not know how to make iron high boots? Yeah, our civilization might not know how to make high boots. That's weird. Well, high boots aren't substantially better than low boots. That's weird. So we've got hat, breastplate, mail, gauntlet, low boot. We need greaves. Okay, so our armor smith is going to get to work making these weapons and armor. We'll also want... We want our shields to be made out of wood. Metal shields are better for shield bashing, but wooden shields are lighter. I don't think wooden shields... The only thing that might happen is in the future we might get attacked by a dragon. And if that happens, then... the wooden shields might not be good, but... Yeah. Yeah, so our stumpies are hard at work. Nobody's going off to build that bridge yet. Nope, there they are. They're building the bridge. What's this? Fey mood. Excellent. What just happened there, though? What did we just strike? Amarine. Oh, aquamarine. Okay. I thought we had struck something else and was about to get very excited and wondered what the hell that other thing we could have struck would be up here. But anyways, let's look at our... just a crafts dwarf's workshop, huh? Well, I guess we'll have a master craftsman of some variety. Hopefully a rock crafts dwarf. Yeah, I think high boots might be considered... Oh, okay. Vakob Shorestergroth is getting to work on their mysterious construction. Okay. And it's a Fey mood, which is good, because it means that this is going to make a legendary crafts dwarf of some variety. I also want to make some... How many armor stands do I have? None. Okay. No, not that. I want to remove that order and just set it again. And just promote it. Okay. What's 2 armor stands? And is our mason otherwise not busy? Okay. Cannot produce rock goblet. Why not? Oh, because the crafts dwarf's workshop is filled up. Okay. Yeah, greaves and low boots together will provide... Oh. Our rock salt bridge is produced. It's going to be our garbage compactor. We are going to link up to bridge. And it doesn't matter what mechanisms we use for this. We'll just use the crappy ones. And we're going to use this as a atom smasher. You have struck hematite. They must be out down here digging. Yes. Okay, they should start working on... If drink stock is low, yeah, they're going to get to making... Vabok Shorastegoth, engraver, has created Olil Aben, rock salt amulet. She offers it to the greatest crypt. Is that us? Let's look at it. This is a rock salt amulet. All crafts dwarf ship is of the highest quality. It menaces with spikes of bitter orange wood, aardvark leather and smoky quartz. On the item is the image of two plump helmets in rock salt. So we've got an amulet with two mushrooms on it. Okay. Good job. We can always use more stone crafters. That's not actually true, but we go back to Dwarf Therapist. If we look at stone crafting, we now have a great stone crafter. And our mason has gotten to great mason just by hard work. They didn't get to... Wait, holy crap, we also got a legendary engraver. That'll be good. Had a mood with this skill while crafting the Valley of Constructing. I've never had an engraver actually have a strange mood. But I've seen engravers who have had strange moods. I don't know. Anyways, we can display that amulet for our dwarves and it will make people happy, or we can sell it for a bunch of money. Wombat is starving. Well, I probably bought a wombat. Well, wombat can come out here. So can the piglet and the bull calf. And the boar. Okay. Let's go to our hen house. And pin the rest of our stray animals. If you hit capital P, you can only see animals that are not... Yeah, you can see ones that just aren't pinned up already. That's a very useful feature. I also want to put these rabbits out here, because rabbits are pasture animals. Got a buck rabbit and a bunny. Maybe we'll have a bunny industry. Yeah, time for autosave to take forever. Okay, now that we've got our barracks dug out, we should probably set them to be barracks. I'm going to once again try making archery targets, and probably going to fail to get my dwarves to actually use them. Archery targets are very buggy, and I've never really gotten them to work. The military parts of the games are the parts I actually struggle with the most. I'm very bad at getting my dwarves to actually do what I want them to when it comes to defenses. At some point we're going to want to build some outside barracks so that our military dwarves train outside. But I'm going to set some hapless dwarves on making blocks on repeat before we do that. Because building with rocks really sucks, but building with blocks is relatively easy. That's still odd that we weren't able to make high boots. If we have some steel bars, I might make some steel weapons for our dwarves to start training with. I did set some steel bars to be made. The production of steel is somewhat convoluted. You need a source of carbon, iron. I think to make pig iron, you have to does it require iron ore or an iron bar? Yeah, one iron bar, a flux material, and 1 unit of fuel. So we need some coke, a piece of marble, and a bar of iron, which will make 1 unit of pig iron. And then 1 unit of pig iron, 1 iron bar, another marble rock, and another unit of coke will create uh, 2 steel bars. Okay, so we've got our armor stands. We're going to build one in here, and one in here, and we're also going to want to build some beds in here, I think. And this will allow our dwarves to sleep in here, should we desire. And this one, on this side, I'm going to channel. Does that interrupt anything down here? Does not. Okay. And the purpose for that will become clear later, because we're going to build archery targets here, and if our dwarves miss the archery targets, the arrows will land down in the channel, and it will let us recover them. May as well get those archery targets built. Looks like they're going to be made out of orthoclase, so they'll be yellow. Let's go ahead and pull this lever. Don't have to do it now. And that will when they pull that lever, that'll raise the garbage compactor. We have petitions. But we only have people who want to eradicate monsters, which I don't care to do yet. Okay, we have our armor stands set up, which armor stands theoretically allow you to store armor on them, but they're heavily bugged. So all you really use them for is to assign barracks. So these 2 rooms will be barracks. Item blocking site. How utterly useless. Well. Let's find the archery targets that they did not build. Oops. They stopped building it, and the item blocking the site was then used to build another archery target. Was it this one that they stopped building? Nope. Okay. How's our armor coming along? Our armor smith is probably doing something else. So let's look at our armor smith. Meditating on festivals. Well, for you, we are going to turn off literally all of your other labors except for armoring until you get it done. And let's, in fact, go down to this and tell our little Stumpy that they should do it now. What are our smelters doing? Making coke and lignite. Well, let's make another 40 pig iron bars. This butt rock is also something else. And we're going to come here. And I want to make a new dump. Actually, I can use my old dump. Oh, it's still a dump. Okay. And we can come dump all of these items. Well, the butt rock plays, and any dwarves who have nothing better to do will come down here and start hauling these items into the dump pile. Who are you? Oh, you're a monster slayer. Okay, that's why you look weird. Confused heart. They've killed 2 goats, a mongoose, and an aardvark. Okay. Let's take a look at our quarters. Okay, our guys are hard at work detailing this. How many dwarves do we actually have? Do I need to start making more beds? We have 38. We have 10, 20. Yeah, I should build some more beds in here. Not bars, but beds. So let's get some more beds and doors built. This will keep our carpenter and our mason busy. Yeah, 2 goats and an aardvark ready to kill Teostra. Okay, well, we'll have them busy at work here. We're making some masterworks. Let's just go ahead and get our miners, since I don't think they're doing anything else, to come here. Human caravan has arrived. Excellent. Although I think... Is this Kaolinite? Yeah, that means they're going to dig the Kaolinite too. But I don't want them to do that. I want them to dig only the hematite. Because I don't have any use for Kaolinite yet. You can use it to make porcelain. But the humans are here. Which means we can open up our trader gate. And start moving stuff to the... Oh. I built all these nest boxes and then forgot to place them. So you have to build nest boxes for your egg-laying creatures for them to actually lay their eggs. Which I can say from experience is not actually true. If you don't make a nest box for your chickens, they will just start laying them anywhere that seems feasible for them to do so. But we're going to build these nest boxes, and then we're going to actually, I think, forbid most of the eggs from our food stockpiles. After we get those nest boxes built, it will mean that our poultry will be allowed to rest on their eggs, and our dwarves won't just collect them. Here come the humans, and some fisher dwarves. Let's request a trader, and move some stuff out here. Currently I have some trap components I could trade. Everybody's so busy. Hey, Masterwork Iron Greaves. Masterpiece Iron Low Boots. Nice. Our legendary armor smith is getting us some work done. But the purpose that I dug this out is I wanted a animal stockpile, which doesn't have to be very big. And they'll store cages and caged critters there. Stray cat has given birth to a kitten. A kitten. Okay, let's do some trading. What do they got that we want? Probably should pick up some glass. Sometimes dwarves in moods want grass. I always forget to make water skins, so we might as well buy some. We've got some critters we could buy. None of them seem excessively good. With humans, we're going to see something. For one, they can import weapons that we normally can't make. Like this flail. Yeah, so our dwarves can't make flails, for instance. Other things they're going to make is they brought lots of clothing with them. Yeah, we will forbid the egg. They brought lots of clothing with them, but they're large. Large, because humans are taller than dwarves, they have bigger feet and longer legs. Dwarves cannot wear human clothing. For some reason they can wear elvish clothing, though. I also usually buy up a bunch of bags. I'll buy that rice. But let's see what else they've got. Lots of bags. Lots of leather and cloth. Okay, let's see how much money we can get for our stuff. We're going to sell all of our crafts we've made. Probably not our mugs, because we always need more mugs. But this stuff can all go. We'll keep our artifact. Ooh. Of a forgotten beast. Doesn't say which forgotten beast, just says a forgotten beast. Forgotten beasts are big old nasty critters that come at you from underground. And they are we should sell this sock. And we should sell this hood. The X and XX means they're tattered. And they'll make our dwarves unhappy from wearing them. But you still get money for them. Do you have any tattered clothing up here? Nope. You can see our rock salt amulet is in this pile too. It's a little down from here. Here it is. Olil Aban. It by itself is worth 7,200 dwarf bucks, which is frankly kind of low for an artifact. It's made out of rock salt, so it's not that it's not a very valuable material. But let's say we're just throwing everything we have. Then we can buy basically to our heart's content. Most of our money is coming from those large serrated copper discs. So, you could buy some high boots, but they would be... But they're too big. I don't think buying them would allow us to make them. So let's just buy all of this stuff. Do I want these wooden chests? Maybe not. That'll goof up my, it'll goof up my quick fort settings. Because I decided to make any rock chests to keep them from building bags in people's rooms to store stuff. We're getting good seeds. And we're going to buy basically all of their leather and cloth. We'll buy the whole bin. We get the bins for free. Okay, we'll save these last bits because I want to see if they have any books we can buy. Here's some food. Should probably buy some of this thread and yarn, just so that our hospital can have some. Get some more armor for some reason. And backpacks. I should buy backpacks. Especially the cheapo ones. Look how much this enormous silver corkscrew is worth. Jeez. Okay, they don't have any books. So our library is going to be empty for now. We could buy some instruments, I think, though. They're usually up here. Yeah, we'll buy the cheap one. It's a large handheld percussive instrument. Yeah, I'm sure. Let's see if we can buy some more cloth. Because our trader profit to value is nearly 1-to-1 right now. And we'll try to squeeze a little bit more out of that. Okay, let's see if they'll accept this deal. They were very happy with that deal. That means they'll bring more stuff next year. And the only thing we're out is some crap that we made out of rock salt and some copper discs. So that's pretty good for us. And we bought some more of this stuff. Okay, well, no longer need our trader. And we can tell them we don't want to trade these stuff anymore, and our dwarves will start unloading the trade depot. I should probably do something with this cowlinite. How would I make use of this cowlinite? I have so much of it, it's stinking up my material. I would make a magma kiln to make porcelain goods. Well, how would I go about making a magma kiln? It'd be a workshop or a furnace. Be a furnace, and it would have a... I'd have to channel out that. Well, let's do that. We'll just have them do it immediately. Do I have anybody with the pottery labor enabled? We do have a potter. It's our clerk. It's Kogan Todasimas. He's a furnace operator, and I'll go ahead and give him the glazing labor as well. So he'll be the one to come dig this, to build this forge. Or magma kiln. I think I need to cut some more wood. Let's go ahead and get some of these trees out of our foyer, so to speak. Okay, so I build my outside barracks. I'm probably going to build them around here. And what are these? Are these the melons? Yeah, here's the winter melons. Yep, our nest boxes are built, so let's look at our food stockpile. Let's just go ahead and do this. Pile X. I tried this in another fort off camera, kind of my pre-production fort. And as it turns out, even if you put the food stockpile for cooked food directly by the dining room, and you set on another floor the food stockpile for raw food, they're still gonna go up the floor to grab the raw food and just not eat the cooked food you've made them. So this is going to forbid drinks, and it's going to forbid seeds. And what kind of critters do we have in here? We have chickens, ducks, and turkeys. So let's go ahead and we'll forbid duck egg. And we'll forbid turkey egg. That'll mean that our turkey and ducks will be able to reproduce. Who do we have that we want to start making rock blocks? Let's look at our useless people. Is anybody currently unhappy? No. Our unhappiest person is this person, who felt uneasiness after seeing a dead body. That's probably where the lion's share of their stress has come from. Well, you can give this workshop to Tobal Dastoshmes and have them start working on making stone blocks. So we are also looking for Tubal. You. I think actually we're going to get this guy, Sarvesh, is going to spend the rest of their place as a smelter. So you... Let's see what kind of stone we have the most of. It's probably going to be rock salt. Indeed it is. So... You're going to make rock blocks on repeat out of rock salt. How'd you cut smoky quartz? What kind of rough gems do we have the most of? I wish you could mouse select in these fields. It would make it easier. Seems like what we have the most of are clear tourmalines. Well, clear tourmalines followed by, what was another kind with 10? Rough emeralds. Well, let's have you cut clear tourmalines on repeat. And then after that, cut the emeralds on repeat. Just to get some cut gems. We can use those to encrust stuff. And one thing I should do is to actually use something I don't often use, which will help my dwarves not get knocked around by this trader gate. There is... how do you do this? Trying to recall. Is it K? Because I don't want my dwarves coming in and out of here, if I can help it. So that when I close this gate, there's less chance that somebody will be standing on it and will be flung, which will probably kill them. Is it roots? It's D-O. Okay. I had to look it up. And I want to restrict this. Those guys were already on their way, so let's go close the trader gate. And that will have that gate get closed. And now our fortress is safe again. Everybody is busy. We have all of our archery targets built. We have to set these individually to all be archery rooms. I'm actually going to set this one to be this, and you have to set the shooting direction. So it's set to shoot left or right, which is actually correct. And you don't want it to fill up the entire room. You want to have a square to the side off so your dwarves can actually stand there. Okay. And they can stand on their beds, I'm pretty sure. And you have to individually make them all archery ranges. If there's any big updates in the future, one of the things I hope gets updated the most is getting your Marks Dwarves to actually freaking work. Okay. So now it's time to make some squads. And for that we're going to have to set a militia commander. So, back to Dwarf Therapist. Let's take a look. Military. Who is our best Marks Dwarf? Our best Marks Dwarf is Erat Confused Heart. Oh, you were a, can I assign you to our... Yeah, you were one of our, you were one of our monster hunters. Can I actually assign you to a squad? But here's our Marks Dwarves. We're going to have to set nil into our Marks Dwarf squad. We might just set these up to be our Marks Dwarves. Even though it's over half women, which is not a great thing. Also, one of them is our miners. Yeah, Rith is a skilled crossbow dwarf, but also our miner, which means that Rith is not going to be able to join our military. We can also just pick up absolute chaff and set our chaff into the military. We just have to make sure we don't send people into the military that are easily stressed out. Our legendary engraver is a fine axe dwarf. And Kogan is a competent spear dwarf, and we have a fair amount of sword dwarfs. I usually just go with axes and hammers, but we can make some spears and swords just to make sure our dwarves have what they want. It's looking like we're just going to be picking up our chaff as people to assign to our military. But first, let's see if we can assign Arat to a squad. So, let's go to our military. Actually, we have to go to our nobles first. And we have militia commander as a vacant noble position. can... Yeah, I can assign Arat Devusiman as our military commander. And we go to squads. We have our militia commander. We're going to create squad. And we should make a uniform first. Let's go to in. And let's make a new uniform. We're going to add uniform. We're going to name it Metal Archer, because these are going to be for our Marks Dwarves. And we want our guys to be kitted out in armor. So we go to armor. We want a mail shirt and a breastplate. They can wear both. Greaves. A helm. Yeah, high boots are foreign, so low boots for us. A shield. You can use shields with crossbows, I'm pretty sure. And this individual choice ranged. Okay, but then we go to material. And we want all of these just to be made out of metal. And for now, we're going to, except for shield. Shield can be whatever, and so can ranged. For now, we're going to have this be over clothing. Later, we'll set that to replace clothing. We're going to supplies. No, dang it. Because I don't have a squad set up yet. Okay, let's create squad. Off the Metal Archer uniform. And we have the Turquoise Gleams, which I'm going to rename. And just set it in A, so I know they're archers. They get to be the Turquoise Gleams, but I want to know what at a glance what the squad actually is. So let's fill this up with a few dwarves. Don't want to go overboard yet. Nil definitely gets to be in it. Reg gets to be in it. Vutok gets to be in it. And probably Monam. Okay. So we are going to... We're definitely going to add Nil to this squad. Not you. Yeah, you get to be in this squad. Actually, is Vutok our excellent farmer? No. Vutok is a guy off the migrant waves. So Vutok gets to be in. Reg gets to be in. I think Reg is a ranger. Yeah, Reg is a ranger. Recruiting hunters to be your Marks Dwarf is usually a pretty good idea. Just because they'll naturally have higher archery skill. Okay. Let's go to supplies. Carry any drink, carry 2 food. That's fine. And ammunition. I'm just going to crank this up to about 500, which means I'm going to have to get somebody to work just making bolts out of whatever metal we have laying around. Okay, and let's make another squad. So we have to go to Nobles, and this time we're going to go into Militia Captain. And let's go back to Dwarf Therapist again. Our next guys. Okay. So Kogan, our bookkeeper, is also going to be our militia captain. So, new militia captain. We're going to set this to be as Kogan, our bookkeeper. So let's go here. Let's go to create. Actually, let's make a uniform, and this one's going to be called Wrestler, because these guys are actually. Let's delete uniform. Let's make a copy. Can I copy uniform? Delete uniform, name uniform. Because I want to set them up to have armor, but I don't want them to have a weapon yet. And there's a couple reasons for it. So we'll just do it like this, actually. I won't specify the material. They will not be given a weapon. Okay. So, we're going to create a squad. We're going to call them Wrestlers. The Muscular Knives! Oh, excellent. Because they're Wrestlers. We're going to call this M for Melee. And let's just toss a couple of these dwarves we saw that had military skills in them. And these guys, we don't want to have any women be in, sadly. Even though we had several candidates for women. The unfortunate tendency of dwarves to carry their babies into battle means that you don't really want women in your military. As sad as that is. They aren't any less effective. Like, the game itself isn't sexist about it. It's just that women tend to care for the children, which in itself might be, maybe that's part of the dwarven society that might be a little sexist, but they're carrying their babies with them, which, yeah, I've already talked about it too much. So we're going to add Datan. So I think they were just a stone, they're our legendary stone crafter, which means they're going to produce a lot of wealth for maybe they produce enough wealth for us that I don't care yet. I don't want to add them. Well, no. We're going to get more legendary crafters, because stone crafter is one of the most common. Actually, let me look at these dwarves that I'm about to add to these squads again and make sure they're not the kind to quibble at stress. Okay. Yeah, whatever. We'll worry about our dwarves being happy or unhappy later. We might scar some of our less military ability dwarves by sending them into battle. Okay. This one, we want to search for Deller. And this one will be... yeah, this guy. Zathan Sarlberm. And now I'm just going to look at Dwarf Therapist and pick any guy who is not useful profession-wise. Do I have any peasants? No, but I have a ton of Fisher Dwarves. And they are all out of fishing. This guy. Moldath. It says he's brave in the face of imminent danger. So he's going to be our... he's going to be part of our military squad. Okay. So we have a archer squad of 4 dwarves and a muscular knives squad of 5. And this one, we're going to tell these guys they should train here. They can store their squad equipment. They can store their individual equipment, and they can sleep here. And this one is for the turquoise gleams, and then I have to assign the turquoise gleams to train at all of these archery targets. Okay. So now we've got our squads just made. What do I do next? I don't remember. If I go to military, or squads, I'm going to set them to both... Yeah, we're going to set them to active training at Squad A. Okay, and after I hit exit here, we should see a bunch of dwarves say they have become recruits. If not immediately, then after in a while. Yep, has become a Marks dwarf. One more thing I want to do is, after all of this stuff gets dumped away, I want to remove this dump here, and we'll start taking care of our refuse outside. Because our guys are going to keep getting sad looking at these disgusting corpses out here, so we're going to get rid of them. Oh, we have some migrants. Well, the more the merrier. Means I need to, for one, set a hotkey here. Let's start building some more beds. Means that we're probably about on pace to actually needing our military soon. Okay. Let's build some containers, and we want these to be made out of any stone, so that we can start getting some coffers set up in our dwarves' houses. Or their apartments. Dwarves do not mind living in a studio apartment like this if it's just a bed, a cabinet, a chest, and 1 free slot. The free slot is actually, if you get any champion dwarves, you can put a statue in their room to increase its value. And actually, I did not want to build anything here. Yeah, because this will be an alleyway that leads to another section of housing. Okay, so we've built about half of the armor that we need. Let's go ahead and go to this magma forge. And let's find a dwarf who... we don't need to do that. We can... How many iron bars do we have? 174. Well, somebody can get to work just forging a whole crapload of iron bolts. And that should be our weaponsmithing dwarf, who currently is not doing anything else, as far as I can tell. When you got some weird communal cities entirely located in a single megastructure, it seems reasonable that people would mind smaller bedrooms. Well, they don't hate their smaller bedrooms. Okay, the human merchants are leaving soon. We've got one, maybe two more stone blocks that need to be dumped. And after that, I can remove the dump zone by this center staircase. Just quickly make sure, yeah. Sometimes the depot becomes inaccessible after the... Did I get a hospital built? So I had a dwarf who was set as... I guess this is going to be my hospital. Okay. We'll worry about that later. Okay. Because I saw a hospital dwarf hanging around. A dwarf with the doctor sprite. Okay, so I've removed this activity zone. We will remove dump. Claim items. And now this big stack of items is a quantum stockpile of just a whole mess of rocks all in one slot. And the next thing I want to do is set up another dump spot. This is going to be a garbage dump. And we are just going to dump all of this. All of these yak teeth. What's my woodcutting dwarf doing? Oh. The only dwarf I have with woodcutting enabled is our legendary stone crafter, or stone detailer. Okay. Let me just pick another random fisherman to be our stone cutter. You there. You're a woodcutter now. Worry no longer about your life as a fisher person. Do I even have a fishery? Yeah, I have a fishery and a butcher shop. Okay. Teeth. Teeth. We have too many teeth. Okay, I said somebody to woodcut, but maybe they need... What's that? I don't recognize that. Oh, it's our wombat. Okay. Woodcutter is still not woodcutting. Let's go ahead and do this. Let's make an iron battle axe. Because we might not have an axe that our dwarf can use. Yep, there go the humans. We can see some of our dwarves training. What was that? No, the residency of a dwarf was ignored. Okay, let's look at our... Okay, our dwarves are wrestling now. You can see them. Here they are. I put on a superior item. I'm content. So... You can see our Marks dwarves. Certainly not Marks dwarving. They're not shooting their targets. That's to be expected. I want to actually build some coffers in here too. Just so they can store their crap in here when they want to. It's going to take forever for those orders to get filled, but whatever. There is an adventure mode. Last time I streamed, Rum Rusher was in the chat talking about all kinds of adventure mode nonsense. What is my woodcutter dwarf doing? Constructing a building. What on earth are they constructing? Engraver has given birth to a boy. Okay. Well, they're probably building table, like moving these beds into place. What do we got here? Eradicating monsters. Don't care. Well, even if our Marks dwarves aren't training, they're still wrestling and stuff. What are our military dwarves actually doing? You look at their current jobs. They're watching dodging demonstrations, lead fighting demonstrations. Okay, so they're training. And now my woodcutter dwarf is a cutting wood. And when they cut a tree that was on top of our inside pasture, and you can end up going in adventure mode to... What's that? No, just some stray teeth. Are they not dumping this? Whatever. We'll unmark the dump. Okay, then we go IX. I want to get rid of this dump zone. And now behold the power of the Dwarven Atom Smasher. Yeah, you. Are you a suturer or something? A diagnoser. Okay, we're going to need a chief medical dwarf. And diagnostician, you're going to be our house, Moses. After we said our... Oh, somebody pulled the lever with it and I was looking at Moses. Well, let's pull the lever again. And behold, all of the stuff that we had dumped underneath the bridge is now gone. It's been obliterated. So these guys... I think we destroyed Mesbeth Althimbi's corpse. Do I have an ammo stockpile? Did I make weapons and finished goods? Weapon, ammo. One thing you want to do with ammo stockpiles is you want absolutely no bins in them. Okay, we have collect webs. Leatherworks. Okay, how much leather do I actually have? Looking at tanned hides. We have a lot of tanned hides. Teeth salesman. Not anywhere into battle. I need your strongest teeth. Okay, so we have somebody with leatherworking. Leatherworking enabled. So I'm going to want 14 backpacks. And let's go ahead and make 14 quivers. That'll make sure that our dwarves have enough... oh, one more thing we need. Make 14 water skins. That way our dwarves, our military dwarves, can carry food and drink with them, and also carry their bolts. How much steel do we have? It should be in bars. We have 20 steel bars. Okay. We can get some steel work done then. Let's go to this. magma forge. And you're going to be making iron bolts on repeat. And we're going to assign this forge to a secondary weaponsmith. Somebody who is not currently a weaponsmith and will learn the craft. Which looks like it's going to be Olan Vakubstrab. So Olan Vakubstrab is going to be our... they're going to... just continually make iron bolts. And this one... we'll set this to be our forge for armor smiths. This forge is going to belong just to our actual weaponsmith, which is Cyril. And you are going to make us some steel weapons. Looks like you want a steel spear and some steel short swords. Because it appears like that's the weapons that our guys like the most. But then you're going to make some steel warhammers and some steel battle axes as well. And you can see he got straight to work. Or she got straight to work, actually. So it's about time, after we got this much worked out, I might want to work out a staging area for my military. If we have goblins that attack us, we want to control their movements. And the first thing I want to do is we're going to remove these ramps out here. And it'll control where the goblins can approach the front of our fort from. Looks like our armor work orders are coming right along. One thing I should then do is build the floor. Let's just floor over these holes that have appeared in the ground. That's where the roots of trees that were chopped down were, and they were chopped down over this. So it just went right through the ground. We can just quickly floor over those with some logs that are laying around. And it's probably about time that we moved our animals inside too. So let's make a new pen or pasture. And we don't want them to be actually outside, so... Yep, that looks like everything is contained on the inside. I can do this just to be sure. No, I want to remove this zone. That's good enough. So this will be a pen or pasture, and we're just going to go ahead and jam everyone in here. All of our dogs that are running around, our horse, our boar, our lamb, any dog that is not currently in another pasture, our wombat, we'll stick our stray cat in here too. Okay. You missed a bit, Masazal. We're getting our military set up. And we're going to come out here. I'm just going to I, X. We're going to remove this zone. So we're moving our animals inside. Because they'll be able to... On the floor, these colored spots are moss and fungus, which are... animals will be able to eat. I'll go ahead and set some cassavas to be farmed. We have a lot of dogs. And another thing we probably want to set up here are some workshop areas that we'll stick our tanner and our butcher in. Just right here by the workshop. And we'll set up another one here too for a farmer's workshop. And we can move our butcher and tannery inside. So, butcher's workshop. This always happens. I always forget which block is clear and which block is not for a butcher's workshop. So, here's the dark gray. It's one for this one too. Man, I'm just dumb. So I'm going to need to dig out these spots now. Yep, the kitchen's for rendering fat, but there's a kitchen right here, right nearby. So our people will come here to tanner and butcher, which means I can tear down these workshops. Do I have a tannery out here? Yeah, I do. I'm gonna have to figure out what I want to do with our fishery, though, because our fisher dwarves are being pretty... They're actually catching a fair amount of... Oh, hold on. What are you? An aardvark. Okay. Don't care about you. Let's look over here to how our mining went. Well, we dug out a fair amount of stuff. Okay. So this is where our traders come in through. Which means I can also use this to set up a staging area. For our military. I don't want to do that yet. And what I mean by staging area is when we get under siege and goblins attack us, which I assume goblins can attack us, or any creature really, we can close this front gate and open this gate, but maybe block off this area and let the critter, and they'll come in through here, and we can dig a diversion, which will like let them in here, maybe. And to get to this point, they have to pass through a big maze of traps and stuff, and places where our marks dwarves can shoot at them. Or I can just set that up out here by the main gate. Hmm. If I'm going, I could also see about building some outside barracks. In which case, I want to see how many blocks I have. Only 160. We're going to need more than that. What is our blocksmith currently doing? Construct rock salt blocks. Okay. So she's currently at work making our blocks. Okay. Work orders going right at it. Oh, wait. Look. These things here are broken crossbow bolts. I think our dudes have been shooting at the archery targets. Oh, excellent. Let's go ahead and I want to set up a schedule so our dwarves are not training at all times. And we do that through our alerts. MA. Add alert. We're going to name it training. Look at schedule. And we want to train 3 soldiers minimum. And we want to set that basically all the time. At least 3 dwarves minimum training. For all the months of the year. Okay. How do I assign this to it again? So when I do this, they should be training at least 3 at a time every month. Yeah, some of our guys quit. But there should still be some guys training. We're back at the butt rock. Yeah, we still have 3 people in individual combat drills. Although I want 3 people from each squad training. Not just 3 people total training, which appears to be what it is. If I do this, then they should do that. They should all become dwarves. Or if they should all become dwarves. They should all become... Yeah, they should come back here for training. Did they just drop their... Yeah, they just dropped their cloaks and garbage on the ground. I don't know. You don't want them training all the time because they'll become unhappy if they just go on duty all of the time. I should probably ask somebody who actually knows how to do this, because I've never had any luck at all getting my dwarves to actually train the way I want them to. But I've got several dwarves doing combat drills, so I'll just keep them at that for a while. I might think about making I think I want to make another mason's workshop and set about having another dwarf do nothing but make stone blocks. There are people who know things about Dwarf Fort. You see, a lot of people actually play this game, as it turns out. Okay, I should set these to be bedrooms. Pretty soon we're going to have a mayor elected, so I might want to get a mayoral room set up for our nobles. Also, should get our hospital set up and start working on getting our rooms engraved. So I got all of these rooms. Most of these are getting smoothed out, but then I have a legendary engraver. Means that I should start getting my stuff up here smoothed. So let's go ahead and set this to be smoothed. Just go ahead and smooth it all. Except for, I don't need the hen house smoothed. I'm trying to set it so that my active orders are to have some of my dwarves training at all times. My Mark's dwarves are kind of training with their archery targets. They've shot a few of their bolts. But I went to I made another alert, and I set it to have 3 minimum training for each squad. But when I set it to it, I had 3 total out of both squads training. I've got some makeshift barracks up here for now. I'm going to build some barracks outside when I get enough blocks, just so they can train in the sunshine. That guy's thirsty, but he's not unhappy. Okay. Are my orders coming along? We're almost done making my iron armor. And we're making some headway making our leather works. I know archery targets are like very bugged and hardly work. At some point I'll just capture some goblins and just use life training. And that'll be better most of the time. Was the game autosaving? Nope, it was just lagging out for a second. Okay. So let's start thinking about our other stuff. So here's our temple. Here's our hospital. It's funny that our hospital is more funny shaped than our temple is because I goofed it up. We'll stick our mayor's office down here, I think. Like, just bring this down, and like this can be the mayor's office. It'll be this big, I think. No, that's not spaced correctly. So something like this. Kind of dog bone shaped. I've goofed that up. Nope. Yep, there we go. So this can be our mayor's office. Pretty grand in size. It's probably bigger than it has to be, but whatever. We'll make it his room as well. Probably going to get hot stone warnings for that because of the magma right here, but I don't care. The mayor's office will just be, see if they're going to do that a whole bunch. Stop in there whenever they hit a warm rock, be like, nope, we can't dig here, even though it's totally safe for them to dig there. Yeehaw to you too. That's actually my sub alert, if you're new here. Okay. We want them to dig this out. Maybe not that out. Definitely want them to dig this out. I actually think I want them to dig this out too. Yeah, that looks right. They'll dig one square, then say hot stone warning. Because there's a magma chamber above this room. Up here, where our magma forges are settled. We do want all of this smoothed as well. Although I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my stone detailers. I'm going to turn everybody off but my super great guy. And we are going to make our dining room legendary. And we're going to have them do that first. And they're going to engrave every spot in our dining room. And then they're going to engrave every spot in our temple. Okay, here's our hospital up here. Let's get some doors built. It's good just to kind of put doors everywhere in the event that you have to instate a lockdown. Okay, so let's build some... Let's go ahead and build some containers in our temple, just so that I can start storing some of the instruments in there. Now let's get some beds built in our hospital. And we're going to need some tables. Tables are where you perform dwarven surgery. Actually, let's cancel those tables. We're going to want to make some traction benches. A traction bench is a weird table with a... Traction bench is a weird table with levers and mechanisms on it, so that your dwarves, when they have broken limbs, can be tractioned down. Okay, let me look at my dwarves. Are any of them currently training? No, they aren't. So let's go back to this one. No, not that. Delete that alert. I also may as well delete this one because it doesn't work. Levers and mechanisms are great. I love how mechanisms work because the game just kind of hand waves it. It's like, you know, they work. It's like, don't worry about it. Through the power of dwarven ingenuity, this lever is connected to this device halfway across the map. Okay, so Moses Indodak is going to be our chief medical dwarf. And this guy has immediately been elected mayor. As soon as I get the mayor's place dug out, well. The mayor is a tricky bugger and wants stuff in his room. I don't actually think so, Prezark. Like, it's one linkage for the lever, and then, like, one linkage for the device you're linking it to. And, like, however far it needs to be, does not matter. So, this is going to be the mayor's dining room. The mayor's office. Still going to need more than that. Needs another chest and another cabinet. Okay. Now, the dry season is coming. Immediately changes. Okay. I think the dry season is winter. No, it must be autumn, because the humans just came, and that would be, the opposite, not the opposite. The humans came in summer, so if dry season must be autumn. Which means the Dwarven Caravan's coming. Which means I need to get some more stuff built for trade. Should just stick rock crafts on repeat. Can you make a lever that throws another lever? I think so? I don't know. I've never tried anything like that. So, if it's autumn, then the Dwarven Caravan's going to be coming, which means I want to get some stone crafts going. You can see our engraver has already worked very quickly. Has already started engraving most of the dining room. You can, after the game unpauses, after it finishes auto-saving, look up some of this stuff that they've engraved. Nothing terrible has happened to our fort yet, so probably not going to be anything that bad. I've also just realized that the placement of my mayor's office is not very good, because I've locked off I've locked off this part of the map unless I go up and around. That's city planning for you. Just had a report. R's report for combat. I don't remember how you look at stuff that just happened. View announcements. Okay, autumn has arrived on the calendar. And then this stuff. Animal inaccessible. Lots of animals inaccessible. So let's go up to our crafts station. And set crafts on repeat. Just to get some stuff built. And we're going to pick up another mason whose sole duty in life is to build rock salt blocks. And it looks like it's going to be Moldath Norkikasal. Your new lot in life is making... What was your name again? Oh, Moldath is not Moldath. No, he's our soldier. Catan Nagasimabil, you're our new mason. Because you're a milker, and that's absolutely worthless to me. So your new job is you are also going to make rock salt blocks. I can see this guy hauling up a table. He's making a traction bench. Okay, our dwarves are training, kind of. We have some coffins built. Do I have mechanism as a repeat thing? No. We're going to make rock mechanisms and then set a workflow to make mechanisms if we have fewer than 20 of them. Because mechanisms are something that you need a lot of, actually. Let's also build a ashery. Okay, let's also build some buckets. Not wood bucket. We want 5 of them. Okay. Finish getting some doors up. They don't need to have a door in front of their bedroom, but it makes them happier to do so. See some... Not there. I'm going to have to remove that door. Okay. We're going to assign this to the mayor. Yeah, so the mayor doesn't quite have what they need. Looks like the mayor also has their own room. Let's take a look. If they have their own... I don't want the mayor to have their own room down here and also a room up there. Okay. That has removed the mayorness from this room. So the mayor needs 2 chests, 2 cabinets. Or needs 2 chests, 1 cabinet, 1 armor stand, 1 weapon rack. Okay. Well, when this room gets smoothed out... We'll also set up some workflows on the weapon racks and armor stands. I have 1 to 3 of them just hanging around at all times. Keep our mason busy. Yeah, we were going to look at some of the stuff we've engraved. Let's look. Let's look for a masterpiece engraving. Here we go. Here's a masterpiece one. Engraved on the floor is a masterfully designed image of dwarves by Vabak Shorastagoth. The dwarves are traveling. The artwork relates to the foundation of Lone Hall by the greatest crypt of the Dipped Flag in the early spring of 325. And this is about Kogenstop Guild coming to Lone Hall in the summer of that year. I'm just looking at the masterpieces. Image of Monam Heatlances the Dwarf and Dwarves by Vobak Shorastagoth. Monam Heatlances is surrounded by the dwarves. The artwork relates to the selection of the dwarf Monam Heatlances as the mission of expedition leader of the greatest crypts. Okay. This guy, and he's making an engraving of the dwarves placing a bed, because the bed was masterfully created. Here's the guy that we made manager being... We have our history of our fort being etched into the walls. Ah, and here's one that's older history. This is some human history. This is an image of Santa Torchjokes, the human, and bobcats. Santa Torchjokes is surrounded by the bobcats. The artwork relates to the taming of the bobcats of the Whimsical Tower by the human Santa Torchjokes in the late spring of 241 during the second journey of the human Santa Torchjokes. Okay. So 241 is about 120 or so years. Nah, it's about 80 years before our fort was founded. And here's some more stuff about Santa Torchjokes. There must be some legends about that person. Anyways, you can get lots of history from your engravings. And we're going to have a lot of them. This guy just cranks them out. Look how fast he's doing it. Because he's right here. Not that, I want you. Let's follow them. He's just cranking out those masterful engravings. That's what happens when you're legendary. You have a lot of stories to tell. You know all the stuff you want. He's also engraving them on the floors. So just every section of this... Man, more stuff about Santa Torchjokes. More... Man, this guy loves bobcats, and he loves Santa Torchjokes. What kind of human was Santa Torchjokes? Let's go ahead and have these smoothed out as order number 3. Just so we can get around to having our mayor's office made nice and pretty looking in time. So that our mayor won't be unhappy. Have our military dwarves improved at all? Let's find out. Has anybody... I don't think anybody has greatly improved. Erat's Divisman might have went to... No, I don't think he's got any better. Oh, I've made a mistake. Okay. I had this guy engrave these walls before I could dig them out. Because I'm going to want to dig some... Actually, probably want to... I want to dig in here, and if I dig through his masterpiece engravings, he's going to get upset by that because of... that's not quite spaced correctly. Again, my lack of urban planning is coming back to bite me. So let's just, let's... Yeah, that's about even. So our fort's not going to be so symmetrical, which is kind of a bad thing. Because usually symmetry is more appealing than not. And the reason I'm digging these parts out is our tavern is going to attract visitors. Yeah, this is going to be very unsymmetrical. Which might mean I might just not do these ones. Maybe I'll do these ones long as well. I tend to do my inn rooms as... Yeah, that'll work out better. I tend to do them as squares instead of lines, and I don't know why. The lines work just fine. So we'll have 6 inn rooms, and I can make more if I want. So we'll set up our... We'll have some inn rooms for travelers to stay in. And see, he's going to dig up, man. He's going to keep doing that because this is hot stone. That's right. I've made pains for myself. And they're going to stop every time. Just because all of this is lava. See, the game, whenever it detects hot stone, keeps your dwarves from digging any farther, which is actually good because if you're digging into magma that you don't know is there, then it will murder your dwarves. But I know this magma's here, and it's in a completely safe area. Dig out this spot too. Okay. Our outpost liaison showed up. Let's get this smoothed. Not that. Designate smooth. Smooth this. Looks like our guy is almost done engraving the temple. And our mayor has mandated that we make some mittens. Well, let's make some mittens. I don't mind doing that. Yeah, it's heated. I think that's actually a good thing, because the magma's up here. It's not going to burn through the stone. Like our mayor's office, also heated by stone. By magma. Okay, I'm the liaison from your mountain gnomes. Let's discuss your situation. Added to civilization/word info. Okay. What do we want? Well, leather of all varieties, plant and silk are all stuff that I have trouble making myself. I'll buy any steel bars and pig iron bars you bring. And I think I'll also buy any charcoal and coke you bring. Thread as well. So bring your thread. And I could also tell you to bring certain kinds of stone that are useful. Go ahead and bring limestone. And bituminous coal and lignite. Bring both of those as well. Okay. This is all the stuff we wanted imported. And they want cut gems, which we actually have. Crowns and tools. Well, thank you. Well, let's pull the trader gate. Open up the traders. Hopefully we've gotten some stone crafts built. If not, I'll just tell my metalsmith to building some traction benches. Not there. Here. There we go. Game's lagging out. Okay. I want to build an ashery so I can make soap. Need a barrel, and a soap maker's shop. How many blocks are we up to? 264 rock salt blocks. I see some other blocks though. Okay. That probably is just the merchant's items showing up on our screen. Let's request a trade. And bring our crafts to the table. If I need money in a pinch, I'll just tell our weaponsmith to make some serrated iron discs. The mayor's mitten mandate. Indeed. Let's see. Indeed, I'm going to need more to trade than just this. So let's go to who is our master smith called? Cyril. It's Olan Cyril drink. Well, let's see what kind of stone or what kind of metal blocks or metal bars we have. If I have some copper left over, which we do, I think, we will make some set all these to do it now, and we'll trade some serrated copper discs to our mountain homes in order to get some crap from them. Oh, we need some chains. Okay. Well, let's go to furniture. I think chains are technically furniture, not cage. We'll make some iron chains. Here's the bunker you were talking about. Okay. Ah, yes. Building trees in your bunker so that you, Hold on. Vomit. Somebody is throwing up. Somebody got sick from getting nauseated by the sun. That's a shame. Especially because vomit takes forever for the stupid dwarves to actually clean up. There's something called cave adaptation, which is where your dwarves get too used to living inside, and when they go outside, they get sick and start throwing up, and it makes them very unhappy. It's not that big of a problem. It's bad when it happens to your military dwarves. None of our dwarves are unhappy right now. Yeah, they're all fairly ecstatic, actually. Looks like our guy has been... Let's look at trap components. We'll start trading these discs. Yeah, so it's not usually that bad to have your dwarves condition. It's less useful when you're... It's kind of annoying when your military dwarves get conditioned for the inside. Which is why I tend to like to have my military dwarves train outside. Where's my other serrated copper discs at? Could make some out of iron. She'll stop forging those irons for a second. I could channel out the roof of my training areas, but I don't want to do that yet. Yeah, that's why I usually farm my outdoor plants inside, which I actually have done. Like this plot right here, I exposed to sunlight once, and now it's permanently an indoor. Okay, our traction benches are finished. Let's go ahead and remove this table. And we'll set tables to be built thusly. So you need tables for dwarven surgery to be applied on. You need beds for sick people to rest in, and you need traction benches to set bones on. Can I move trades to depot finally? Yep, okay. So these serrated iron discs should be... Any other crafts I could bring? Because I have somebody making stone crafts just on repeat, right? Well, maybe not. But our broker's asleep, so it's going to have to wait. How many stone blocks are we up to? 316. It's getting to be about where we can start actually... What's this stockpile? Finished goods. Alright. Okay, let's trade. Because these serrated iron discs are going to be worth a ton of money. So... let's just buy everything. Ooh, platinum bars. Just buy everything from these dwarves that we can. I'll buy some rope. Maybe not the 1,000 dwarf buck rope. Some flasks and water skins. Some instruments. Don't want any milk. Yeah, apparently our guys just don't know how to make... our civilization does not know the secrets of high boot. But I will buy all of your clothing. Did I buy your bismuth bronze? I don't want that, no. Want all of your clothing, though. And your bags. Just so that I don't have to make them. And sure, we'll buy some gypsum plaster. And some pigtail seeds. The plaster we can use for our hospital to make casts with, although splints work just as well as far as I can tell. Buy all of your cloth and all of your leather so that I can start having my leather crafters and clothiers get to work making clothing for my dwarves so that maybe tattered clothing will not be an issue. It's always been easier for me, I think, to buy silk and leather and cloth than actually make my own. Although we're going to be swarming in poultry here in a bit. As soon as those eggs hatch, we're going to be up to our necks in ducks and turkeys. Okay, that's enough leather, and there's enough leather at least. I might pick up any more silk. Yeah, and I asked for leather the first time around, and now and next year they're going to bring this much leather too, because I asked for leather again. They bring their food. Lots of plump helmets. I'll buy these fruits, just so that we can start growing them ourselves. I'll buy all of your thread and yarn. Look how much this spiked steel ball. Man, crazy. And no books again. People are just not bringing me books to buy. Well, let's start removing stuff. So let's see if I can get away trading all of that stuff for 3 serrated iron discs. Yes, not only was I able to, they seemed to love it. Okay. Well, we might end up having to we might end up having to make our own books. And there they go, hauling their stuff up. We have a million things of leather and cloth now. And we got all of this for 3 items. Iron serrated discs, or serrated discs in general, are like cheating. They are worth so much money. Ah, Mayor has another mandate. Make mittens. I think we're going to get there. Well, once we engrave his office, he's going to crap his pants because it'll be so nice. We got another turkey gobbler. Let's take a look. Yep, we got ducks and turkeys a-settin'. These duck eggs are infertile, but these turkey eggs are fertile. Do I not have a gander? Or a drake? No, I've got drakes. Okay, there's no reason for my duck eggs to be unfertilized then. Yeah, our mayor loves mittens. Okay. Our mayor's office is already complete now, but we've only engraved a quarter of it, so our mayor's going to love his office. So let's build some containers, and we'll stick them here. And we're going to build some beds and some doors. This will be where our long-term visitors stay. We'll use dwarf mittens to keep our dwarves from making too much noise. Indeed. Okay, let's go ahead and close the trader gate. Somebody will come along and do that. That'll lock out the outside world. And I think... How many pig iron bars do we have? 30. Let's start getting those going. So, we're getting our military dwarves kind of set up. Kind of. I'm still not happy with them. How many blocks do we have? We have dedicated block making. We have 340 rock salt blocks. Next time, I think we're going to make some... We'll start planning that now. We'll make some barracks out here. And we'll do so... These will be a temp wall. Just to keep my proportions correct. We're not actually going to do this with wood and rock salt. So here's where I want the inside of my barracks to meet. So let's build this. We want to build these out of rock salt blocks. These will be the beginning of our outdoor barracks. And the reason we want them outdoors is they're going to be open-roofed. They're going to be exposed to daylight. I might have these set wrong. I'll use channel to sort of measure how big they are. Okay. So from the inside top corner, it should be that big. I think that's right. So we want... These are not the same size. I goofed it up. That's to be expected. Well, let's remove these designations. They're going to end up looking phallic. That's just the nature of the beast. So... I think I told that bridge to be removed, which I do not want. Yeah. Okay, so this one is 12 by 1. So I want it to be one more out. And this one is also 12 by 1. Which it is. Okay. So this should be even Stevens. Okay. And we'll want entrances here. So next time we'll start seeing our dwarves do this. They're already coming out to build the wall. So our next project will be barracks built out here, and then we'll build some living quarters so we can move out of these dumpy inside barracks and start doing some outside training in the sunshine barracks. But for now, like all of these Dwarf Fortress streams, we went way over time. So we got a fair amount of stuff accomplished today, though, but we did very little digging. We still have yet to explore the caverns any down here, and I probably won't for a long time until I get some military dwarves ready, because right here we can see some troglodytes just wondering how they could get up my well and into my fort to menace my dwarves. What kind of exciting units do we have? We have some yaks out here. And a bunch of merchants. Oh, and we have a lady. She must be a human noble. I like how the game describes humans as medium-sized creatures prone to great ambition. Okay. Well, we have Koku Anala, lady, a human noble hanging out in our temple. Anyways, that's going to be it for now. Thanks everybody for joining. I know these Dwarf Fortress streams are long and boring, but that's what's good about the game, right? Is that it's long and boring. I just have to keep telling myself that. But for now, good night.